we got ourselves an old Gigguk video. The science of waifus. And the two girls on display. Uh-oh, I don't want to go to jail.
For decades, the exact
Louder, Gigguk, louder. I need you to be louder.
For decades, the exact science of waifus has been a mystery, as our collective understanding of these entities and the ways humans react to them continue to baffle scientists to the modern day.
Back in the day, I don't think the term waifu was critically criticized like these days, where if you call like a lolly a waifu, people think you're a pedo immediately. If you say the term waifu, then there is this supposed like implication that you mean sexual intent. You mean like romantic sexual intent, and that like it's like a bad thing.
And the ways humans react to them continue to baffle scientists to the modern day. So today I would like to present my findings to you, the board, in hopes that one day this research can be expanded on and completed.
Okay.
As far as we can tell, waifus are horrific Lovecraftian beings of unknown origin with the power to destroy entire species by inhibiting their desire to breed. While
it can destroy an entire species. You see the declining birth rate, what's happening? I do firmly believe, and this is not a schizo conspiracy tinfoil theory, I think there's a direct correlation of people becoming lonelier and lonelier, more busier and busier, and being depressed, and filling that void with anime waifus. Straight up, I think that's why the birth rate is declining.
we have been able to prevent this so far with the human race, as time has gone on, their attacks have only become more effective, and we get closer to the possibility of mass extinction every
Again, this is not a joke. Mass extinction because of people becoming more socially inept as they cope with anime girls and actually fall in love with 2D more than real 3D. I truly believe that there is an element at play with waifus and, you know, birth rate control.
Every day. The widely accepted root of the word waifu stems from the butchered Japanese pronunciation of the English word wife, which has become the adopted explanation by popular culture. But recent studies have suggested that the word actually comes from an abbreviation to the question waifu. Why am I forever unloved? As the entities themselves serve as an answer to that question. The exact appeal of waifu stem from their power to invoke a dormant gene present in all humans, known as the protect gene. Once invoked, the protect gene raises strong primal instincts in an individual, granting a sense of temporary euphoria, bypassing the developed logical brain, which would usually rationalize to an individual that spending over $100 for a JPEG printout on a bag of feathers might actually be a bad idea.
And here's the thing. 6 years ago, and I love this picture every time because of this old man's look at this guy. I'm pretty sure that this is staged. There's no way this guy is unironically out in the streets of Japan doing this. I'm pretty sure that this is literally just staged for, you know, farming impressions back then. But here's the thing. Spending $100 for a guaranteed body pillow of Hestia, that is a guarantee. You actually get the Hestia body pillow. In this current modern era of waifu gambling on mobile games, gacha games, people spend $100 for a chance. A 0.0001% chance to get the waifu, the 2D JPEG. And even then, if end of server happens, that girl's gonna be gone. So this is the current state of waifuism, bro. People gambling for a chance for something.
On a bag of feathers might actually be.
Also, $100 is not enough to guarantee you something. People spend upward to like 500, 1,000, and even then, if the pity system didn't exist, like, there's no guarantee. You could have spent $2,000 and you still don't get the fucking waifu you want.
A bad idea. Even though the effects of the protect gene is normally seen in humans, it should be noted that animals also possess it, with the most recent case of its effects being seen in penguins, proving that even animals are not immune to shit taste. While there is high variance among individuals as to which waifu is most appealing to them, a peculiar event occurs when enough anime fans gather together as a sort of hive mind begins to form, abandoning all sense of individuality in order to collectively determine the most superior waifu in any given set.
These are all Monogatari girls, I think, right?
This event is known as the Best Girl Ultimatum, an event that causes enough sodium chloride to form to poison the surrounding area. Newcomers can often be confused as to what exactly constitutes a best girl, but once an individual spends enough time in the community, they may be able to develop an additional sense, a kind of sixth sense, in which on initial viewing of a new show, they can immediately detect who will be best girl. This phenomenon is known.
Basically, best girl will be the one that puts out the most fan service. That's pretty much it. The girl that shows the most cleavage, the girl that shows the most fan service is usually the best girl to most people's desires. Then there's other ones where they're like personality based, and those are like rare waifus where it's just like, oh, I want to protect them. It's just they're actually a good character, like personality type. But most people only cares about the fan service.
As the compounded anime neural character exposure response, though it's
You making this shit up?
more commonly referred to by its shortened form, cancer. While there is yet to be any proven hypothesis around what makes a best girl in any given situation, I would like to propose the following theory that can break down the overall effectiveness of any given waifu in a best girl race. Let's start with personality. This can be broken down into two parts.
Who cares? Most weebs don't give a fuck about personality. They just want to see the bust size. The bust size is the personality.
Depth determiner and disposability. The depth determiner refers to the credibility of a certain waifu, and this is a slippery slope. Waifus are meant to represent a certain ideology within a life partner, and in this sense they can almost be seen as something similar to deities. In fact, some waifus themselves are deities, because hey, if an all-seeing, all-knowing, omnipotent being exists that could take any form, why couldn't it be a tsundere high school girl in short skirts? Or, as some experts in waifology have suggested, why shouldn't it be a tsundere high school girl in short skirts?
Tsundere high school girl in short skirts is fucking ass. The more I watch anime, the more I despise tsundere girls. The more I realize that they're nothing but annoying little bitches, bro. And if you got to know one in real life, an actual tsundere in real life, I guarantee you, you would be hating your life. They are maniacs, actually fucking sociopath, getting mad at you for no fucking reason. And watching Rama recently has reminded me yet again, because that tsundere is like the apex tsundere, the OG tsundere. Holy shit, it's annoying.
However, it is important that they remain believable, but not too believable. Too perfect and the entity may come off as one-dimensional, boring and flat, but too believable and it might become too human. Which brings us to our second criteria.
2D better than 3D.
Disposability. There is an abundance of choice when it comes to waifu types, but while different personality types cater to different individuals, a large subset may be filed as a disposable waifu, in which a waifu may just feel like a reskinned version of another.
They're just a fucking rag? You just dispose them?
The character. This is not to be confused with trash waifu.
What's Emilia doing in there? That's Nico Nico Ni, I think, too, right?
As that refers to waifus picked up by individuals who have forsaken their humanity. At least, a bit more so than the usual anime fan. The important thing is that if a waifu can be easily swapped out to any similar character from elsewhere without much overall impact in universe,
I see. Like, the uniqueness of that waifu, right? How many times has the same kind of personality trait with a similar, character design have been repeated over and over again?
Increases their disposability. For example, if you replace Umaru with a piece of turd wearing an orange hoodie, it would...
Umaru gets a lot of slander. Is this anime that bad? People have the most extreme takes about this cute little hamster girl.
Not actually make much of a difference to the in-universe narrative. My apologies, I would like to make an amendment to that last statement.
Okay.
It would actually make a massive difference. The piece of turd wouldn't be loud and annoying.
Yeah, the loud and annoying part probably is the reason why people hate it so much. And I'm getting limited ads for this one.
Physical characteristics are also a very important part of any waifu, as any unique features may give them an advantage to others without them.
This includes,
but is not limited to, fangs, glasses, thigh highs, elf ears, ponytails, twin tails, real tails, big boobs, small boobs, no boobs, and of course, most powerful of all, a penis. Sex appeal is also an important factor that is split into two sections. On one side you have waifus with high sex appeal that people very much appreciate and find totally acceptable to.
Yeah, the fan service, right? Because they're older looking characters, and once you start doing this to lollies, we get into dangerous territory.
Dude. And on the other side, you have the innocent kinds that have no sex appeal whatsoever, that people just want to protect, and everyone agrees that under no circumstances are they acceptable to lewd. But people lewd them anyway. A waifu can increase their best.
Everyone will be looted. The internet does not give a fuck.
Girl chances by appealing to a certain fetish, but the
that's right. Okay, now we're going into more like specific, very, very specific type of girls. Like a girl that will like shit on your chest if you're into scat.
By appealing to a certain fetish, but the real power comes when they allow an individual to discover a fetish they never knew they had. However, sex appeal should never come at the cost of going against the ideology of being an ideal, dedicated life partner, as this merely increases their thought factor.
Wait a minute. What are the items that was brought in as even said life partner?
Cost of going against the ideology of being an ideal, dedicated life partner.
Dedicated life partner. Basically, make me a fucking sandwich and do the laundry.
As this merely increases their thought factor, which is a death sentence for any
Thoughterly.
waifu. Then we get to arguably the most important factor for a waifu's best girl candidacy, the kawaii coefficient. This
Okay, how cute they are?
refers to unique attributes a waifu possesses which can be seen as cute. With a high enough kawaii coefficient, even seemingly one-dimensional waifus can have a higher standing than they arguably should.
Is this girl invisible? Are we putting clothes on like an air right now and therefore portraying the kawaii coefficient?
Common way to achieve this is by giving them a weird quirk. Maybe they really like explosions, or licking people, or smelling people, or they're mentally disabled, or they're a psychotic nutjob mass.
Is this girl that stupid? Maybe she is.
Mentally disabled, or they're a psychotic nutjob mass murderer, or they're a mentally disabled psychotic nutjob mass murderer who's also a lolly. Whatever
Combine it all.
It should be noticed that pretty much any quirk can be turned into something cute within the laws of waifu, even if it makes absolutely no sense in the real world. If she's overly aggressive and borderline abusive, we call that being tsundere. If she's a wise wolf god,
No, it's called being a bitch.
wandering the world in human form, we call that
Furry.
fuck you, Dave. This is not bestiality. And if she's a 500-year-old immortal vampire
You going to jail.
who also happens to be trapped in a lolly body, we call that, I swear, officer, she's totally legal. The rules of the real world do not apply to waifus. In fact,
Yeah, it used to be that way, but now people are taking that word way more seriously. And if you call like a waifu to like an ambiguous looking girl that seems to be like a lolly, oh man, people go fucking crazy online for that
through
shit.
the power of anthropomorphism, anything can be a waifu.
A ship.
Anything. Cats,
I'm a doorknob.
ships, horses, anything is fair game. So it's only really a matter of time
Monster Musume, I think, right?
before we see anthropomorphized vacuum cleaners.
Damn, she got that suction.
Wait, are you
Oh.
fucking
Oh, it exists. Vacuum cleaner waifu. It exists.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Yep.
Of course, this brings us to the most complex mechanic to understand, which is known as the waifu meta. The cutthroat game of Best Girl is a constantly changing landscape with new additions continually being added which affect the overall ecosystem, changing the effectiveness of everything we previously talked about. An understanding of this landscape rapidly improves.
I think that the more recent the waifus are, the more favorable that they're gonna be, right? I don't think there's much loyalty in the waifu fan base. People just want like new people. Old waifus, old animes, right? People don't really care too much about that shit. People just care about what's new.
Improves a waifu's standing in the current meta and can increase or decrease their viability for Best Girl in any given situation. For instance, someone like Amelia was quite strong in release, having pretty solid base stats in every category that made her a popular pick, but
She got buffed recently, but this is a 6 years ago video.
pretty soon after, she just got completely hard counted by Rem, giving her a loss by default, where she
But then this shit got also reversed too. Rem got patch notes and she got nerfed like fucking crazy while Emily got a huge buff in Season 3, 2024.
hasn't been able to recover ever since. Something similar happened recently between 02 and Ichigo from Darling in the Franxx, but that was more the result of a high-tier waifu being called out for a 1v1 by someone who is clearly still trying to climb out of bronze. The effects of the waifu meta
This girl, I mean, if you just look at the character designs, I got no clue about the personality traits, but it just looks to me that 02 is just superior in every single way.
who is clearly still trying to climb out of bronze. The effects of the waifu meta are so severe that there have been time periods when nonsensical picks such as Dio Brando and Kaiki have been viable for Best Girl, even
I love it. When you start calling Best Girl guys or like Best Girl as like anything but women, it's funny to me.
if science has never even classified them as waifus. It is also able to counteract the importance of previously discussed factors. Disposability is less of a factor if a waifu is the first to popularize a certain trend, but a single imbalanced waifu is also able to start the revival of an old meta, as we just saw last year with Saguri bringing the resurgence of the Emoto meta we hadn't seen since 2013.
See, disposability does matter. People forget about those old fucking waifus tropes, man. You need new variants of it, and it brings the fucking resurgence back.
Which absolutely nobody wanted, but we ended up appreciating anyway.
But now at this point, Eramaga Sensei is super fucking old, right?
Even someone as old as Asuka can remain relevant thanks to her constant reworks. If this is confusing for you, then I recommend
Wow, Toka Yatogami going all the way fucking up here. You see this shit?
sticking to the comfort picks
Toka won again here. Toka won, and she keeps winning.
That have stood the test of time and have remained viable in almost every meta.
Toka wins again! Toka is undefeated in this bracket. What the hell? Look at this shit.
For example, someone like Rin will always remain a strong pick as she's in the Tsundere class, which will pretty much always be viable. But this gives her very high...
This makes Rin sound like a fucking servant. For like a holy grail war. She's a Tsundere class servant.
high synergy with her twin tail and thigh high builds, plus having one of the best blush skills in anime when fully maxed. The only thing she has going against her is when Saber is counterpicked, and even then it comes down to an even skill matchup. In conclusion, the science behind...
What in the fuck is this frame, bro? This is Bakemonogatari, right? What the hell?
waifus and their ability to become best girl is a complicated field, and science is still a ways away from being able to find the ultimate best girl. While we can rationalize a lot of the power through depth determiner, disposability, thought factor, and the kawaii coefficient,
Listen, they nobody give a fuck about that. People just think with their pee-pee.
through the power of the waifu meta and pretty much anything being able to be turned into a waifu, whether it be through anthropomorphization or just putting a blush effect
Vacuums.
on something, further research is required. But from what we have discussed today, I can conclude only one thing for certain.
What?
Give an anime fan any objects and they will find a way to want to stick their dick in it.
Yeah, I mean, even like Black Hole. Remember like the couple of years ago, like was it NASA? I don't know. They're like, hey, here's the first pictures ever of a black hole, and everyone was like, we need to immediately waifu it. We need to give it blushes. And that's pretty much it. These Gigguk videos. Gee, that V-neck, oh, you fucking slut. That V-neck is crazy. Gigguk is showing so much cleavage in his chest hair right now. 6 years ago, Gigguk is wilding out, but here's the video. Here's the video. Ryu an outfit from Classroom the Elite? Maybe. The deep V. Here's a link to the video. Go give him a like. See you next time.